another one called test group. I duplicate the test, and if you take the, you see the, they are duplicate, but I have a view of my direct import data. Make it last week ago.
Made the last session.
Mm-hmm.
It duplicated because it.
I don't know for the moment why, but you can explain me this. I am thank you for this. I showed the DMS configuration, data management system.
Yes. So this is a good example to look at. The test names in the system must be unique, even if they exist in a different test group. So, for instance, if you were to create OD lock A, but try to put it into a different group, it wouldn't let you, because even though they're in separate groups, they still have to be unique names. Also, there's really no way to solve this other than to delete the data that exists under a certain test name, and then re-import it under a different test name. So I can show you a couple of things. One, I can show you an easy way to delete data.
Okay.
And two, I'll show you in the DMS and DCS configurations how we can assign the data to the existing tests rather than creating new ones.
Excuse me, Rick. Do you see my desk for now? The automated data carpet. I don't know how to share this.
Deja ver si.
Change your stop sharing and then make sure you choose desktop screen 1.
Okay. ¿Tú no estás conectado?
Sí.
No me apareces.
Tienes que parar de compartir y luego compartir desktop.
¿Pero dónde estoy yo? Excuse me.
Yeah, take your time.
Aquí mira, abro estas ventanas y no estoy yo.
¿Cuál es el que estás compartiendo?
Según yo, debe ser este. No, mira,
Bueno.
El mío no.
Aquí, ponte aquí.
Stop sharing.
Stop sharing.
Okay.
Ahora, share. Ponte en share. Tienes que buscar desktop. Ay.
Join conversation, processing. Buscador de email, sería aquí. Automated data.
Sí.
Okay. We have an empty data, and I can show when I import the other the data, the process.
Let's do this. Why don't we do, as an exercise, let's delete the data that you've imported.
Okay.
And then we'll change the configuration, and then we'll re-import.
Okay, perfect.
So the easiest way to delete the data is to use the database manager application.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just seeing your Windows folder. I think you have to
Okay.
try
Try
to
another
share.
time. Okay.
Yeah. So instead of window, choose desktop, screen number 1.
Screen number 1. Yes. Okay.
There we go. Now I see.
Okay.
Okay. So let's choose the database that you've imported
Mm-hmm.
the data. And actually, I can show you another. Let's open. So let's open the project as well. I just want to show you another
Mm-hmm.
example.
Thank you. This is the project.
Okay, so when you're training, you make lots of databases, so it can be confusing. If you go to IUDA help,
Yes. Okay.
menu, it tells you right there. See in the parentheses, it tells you the name of the database.
Okay.
So that's just a quick way so you can reference which database the project is assigned to.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to know where the database is, it tells you here, it tells you the file path of the database and the database name and things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go back to Database Manager. Okay, so if you go to Utilities, and you can borrar subgroups.
Okay.
So
Empty database. Okay.
we don't want that one, no.
Okay. Excuse me.
We just want to delete subgroups.
Okay.
Borrar subgroups. Okay,
That's
so here you can specify a date range and part name and other things so that we can remove those inputs. So let's see, I think, so we can't specify we can't specify the test name. So we'll have to choose something. Oh, sorry. The easiest way is to specify the employee. So if you double click on
Okay.
Empleados and choose DMS-DCS and say OK, and then change the time from 30 minutes to years. And there we go. So 25 years is the maximum.
Okay.
So put 25 years, and then this will, when we execute this, it will delete all of the data that is assigned to the DMS-DCS employee.
Okay. I have only employees selected, but eliminate all the other parts, process, jobs, lots.
No, it'll only delete subgroups assigned to the DMS-DCS
Okay.
employee.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
So if you click, click that to start, and it will give us a count of the subgroups.
Okay.
So
I can finish.
yes. So 306
Okay.
will be deleted. we'll say yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you go back to your project, and if you press F5, or if you click in the menu, there's a refresh button. Either one. It will relaunch, it'll reload the,
The
if you
graphic?
go to graph,
Oh, configuration option, expert time, whatever. Okay.
actually, the easiest way is just to press, yeah, if you switch from one to another, that
Mhm.
should do it. No, it's still there. Press F5
Okay.
on the keyboard.
Okay.
There we are.
Mhm.
So all of the data's been deleted. So okay, so let's modify our configuration and re-import.
Mhm.
So we'll launch the DMS and DCS.
Good.
And actually, we don't need to change anything with DMS. The only thing we need to change is assigning the test output to a different test name. So let's edit the DCS configuration.
Mhm.
So you can right-click on demo
Demo. Okay.
and edit. Okay, and let's go to this characteristics.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, so now you just need to double-click on the first one and click select from database. The big button
Okay.
below. Nope, not that one. The gray button below the test. See selection.
Okay. Excuse me. Test wrap. I have to choose el grupo de prueba. It's ABC.
Yep. So this will write to this test instead of the
Okay.
new ones.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay.
Perfect. So we just need to do the same thing for the other two. Nope, just make sure you choose OD location B.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good.
Mhm.
Now let's do one other thing, just as a another exercise. Let's edit the configuration again.
Mhm.
So right click on demo and edit once again. And let's go to the second tab. Same thing. Okay. So right now this is configured to collect each row will be one single subgroup.
Mhm.
Now when you set the project up and we were manually entering data,
Mhm.
we configured the sample size to be 3.
Yes.
So
That's
so
right.
3, each row was a sample rather than a subgroup. So each subgroup had a sample size
Mhm.
of sample size of 3. So we can do that in ACS. So if you click, see where it says tamaño de subgroup, we can say the
Okay.
we
Advance
can
it.
say the piece count
Okay.
is 3.
I think the piece is 3.
And further, if you click the advanced button to the right, we can say the maximum value is 3. This is just an extra fail-safe.
Okay.
Okay, so now it's going to assume that each row is a sample, and then when it gets to 3 samples, it will start the next subgroup. So now we're all set. So now we say okay, and now all we have to do is copy in the import files and paste them into the folder where DMS is looking.
Okay.
And there we go. So let's go back to our project and press the F5 button again, and we should see the data. Yep, so the data is now going to the right place, though we still have a sample size of 1. So why is that?
Right. In the right choice. Thank you for the instructions for fixed the problem.
Pero él dice que todavía hay un sample size de 1.
Eso fue lo que hicimos ahorita. Okay. I can try limit. Okay. That's right now. Okay. Okay, that's the acid test. I can start because
¿Qué?
we couldn't activate. Hello, Monica. Next.
Use a different account. Ponte ahí abajo.
Different account. See, create account.
Sign in.
Liking. Yo tengo una cuenta en Microsoft Office.
Sí.
No.
Olvidó su contraseña. Pon.
Okay, Kyle, we are ready.
Kyle. Se fue Kyle.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was muted for some reason. Okay, so let's try this one more time because the samples did not come in as a sample size of 3.
Okay.
So let's go to the database manager and delete them again. So utilities, delete subgroups,
Mm-hmm.
change employees, yep. And then change the time from minutes to years.
Cierto, eso era.
Okay. Okay, so let's go back to DCS and we'll edit our configuration.
Okay.
So right click and edit the demo. And let's go to the second tab, the sample, and go to advanced. I think we need to specify the number of characteristics. Let's specify the maximum number of characteristics as 3. So we should have 3 and 3. I think that should do it. So let's try to import this once again. So
Okay.
say OK,
Mm-hmm.
and let's
Right.
cut and paste the file again. Let's see what happens here. And if this doesn't work, then I'll have to do some testing myself. Press F5. No, it's still sample size of 1. Okay, I'll have to do some testing myself. This should... I might be missing a step. That's okay. So one other thing I want to show you, if you click on the advanced report to go to your other project, and on the box and whisker plot, see we have 3 levels here. We have your company, then we have part, and then we have test.
Yes.
Except we only have 2 colors. So I'll show you how to customize the color scheme.
Okay.
So if you go to preference in the menu bar up at the top of the screen, you can go to profiles, and you can actually create custom views, colors, fonts, and things for individual users, or for an entire role, or for the whole system. So if you create colors for the whole system, if somebody has a custom color set, then that will override the colors that have been set for the system. And that way, different people can see things differently if they need to when they sign into the system. But what we want to do is, let's click Add here.
Okay.
And we'll choose, hold on, let me just reference mine. Okay, so we want okay, so we want lines. So choose. Yep, perfect. Say okay. And there's every color in the system you can change here, but choose the second tab and data bar 0. So there's the yellow in the box and whisker plot. And then data bar 1 is going to be the blue, so choose that one. And then you'll notice they're all blue. It's yellow, then the rest of them are blue. So we have 3 levels, so we want to, so let's choose data bar 2. And choose color on the right side. And choose orange, just to differentiate, and say okay, and close, and close. There we go. So just to show that everything can be customized.
Okay, that's right. Good for make the changes. I can choose the. You see, Monica?
And all of the colors on a control chart, for instance, all of those can be changed as well. And the fonts and
the back
size, everything.
Background.
Right.
Ponle rosado. Salir.
That's a good feature.
Yes, and like I said, it's dynamic. So if you want certain users to sign in to see different things, see things in different font sizes, different colors, you can do that. For instance, an example that I've seen used in the header, so where it says box and whisker chart, and then it has the blue subtext.
Okay, yes.
I've seen people change those colors for administrators versus operators, so that you can see immediately whether an operator or an administrator is signed in.
Oh, yes.
So lots of different things you can do. So I need to, I'm happy to answer any more questions you have, or we can review anything that you've done. I can stay on another 30 minutes or so. I think you did a really good job on the EMS training.
Thank you.
Everything is looking good so far, so we're getting to the end. I think the next thing that we will do is one of the last things, and that is the dynamic scheduler. So I will, let me see if I have an example so I can show you what that looks like, and then I can give you the tutorial for that, and we can work on that for the next meeting. And let's see.
Yo creo que ahora él va a compartirla Now you are going to share the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Shortly.
esto, por favor.
Ahí va.
Tutorial is too large, so I'm just finding the link. Okay.
¿Qué estás grabando?
Alright, I just need to install an evaluation key. Mine has expired.
Thank you.
Oh, it does not seem to be working. Uh-oh. That's... Maybe this one is still valid. Oh, good. Okay. Okay, I will share my screen. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Okay.
I can see your screen.
Okay, good. So, this is, I'll send you a link to this. This is the sampling requirements tutorial, and it focuses on an application called Dynamic Scheduler. And you should have it installed, though you may need to install a license evaluation key. The purpose of this application is it tells the operators when they need to do their checks. So it will notify them when their check is due. It will create an event if the check is missed or it's late, so that we have sampling compliance records. And it can do a lot of things like force a recheck requirement and a number of other things. So I'll show you how this works, and then we'll have you go through the tutorial, which is very similar to DMS. It starts at the very beginning, and it explains how the system works and the purpose and all of that. So I'll show you just a quick demo. So this application will run, and it will actually stay on top of any other window that you have on your screen. So you notice all the other windows go behind this one. So this is going to change color and let the operators know that a check is due. And what we do is we assign a process or more processes to a workstation. So for my PC, I'm assigned to line 1, line 2, line 3, and line 4. So typically one PC will be assigned to one process, but sometimes they may need to see more than one process.
Yes.
And this works on something called process states. So the state of the process would be whether the line is running or not running or down or idle. So those states of the line or the machine dictate what checks are due and when. So how frequently these checks need to be done. So line 1 is in a state called production end. And you will actually create these states in the tutorial. So in the database, we actually have a process state table. So you simply you choose a type. So this is, say, a run state, and we can call this line running. So all of these states are created and managed and named as you need. So then we define a transition sequence. So from line down, or in this case production end, when I go to change the state, I'm only allowed to change it to a certain state. So I can't go from running. I can go to scheduled down or unscheduled down or idle. So you can choose which states the operators are allowed to move to. So those are called process state transitions. So let me just set this up so it's a little more typical. Okay, so say my line is now in this unscheduled down state. So when line's down, I don't have any checks to do. So if the operator comes in and they change the state, I can go to line down, or I can start my pre-production inspection. So the system's not allowing me to just go straight into running because it requires me to do some pre-production inspections first. So I choose this state, and then I choose the part that I'm running, or the product. And I say OK. So now Dynamic Scheduler knows that I'm on line 1. It knows which product is running, and it knows the state, the process state, which is pre-production inspection. So now any of the checks that are required will now be shown here in this view. And if I close this, it still shows here that in 15 minutes I need to do a check. So if I click this checkbox, all this does is it works as another front end to the application. So when I click the checkbox, it launches the software, it launches the project, and it launches the data entry. So now I go through and I perform my data collection. And this is, it's not important what the data collection is. This is just a pre-op check, making sure that the line is ready to be run. These are bacterial swab checks, things that make sure that things are ready to get started. So once I've entered data for this check and I save it, the system will automatically say, okay, the pre-production inspection has been complete, and then it will automatically move the line into another state for me. And now I have a whole bunch of checks that need to be done at a certain frequency. Actually, this is the only one that has a frequency assigned. And there's another table in here called sampling requirements. So each one of these checks is called a sampling requirement. And essentially all this does, if I click on this checkbox to begin this check, all this does is open a project and open the data collection that's associated with that sampling requirement.
Mm-hmm.
So here we need to enter our TA is the name of this test. So you'll notice here I have 38 minutes and 50 seconds. As soon as I save this, my timer resets back to 40 minutes when the next check is due.
Mm-hmm.
So it essentially just works as another level, another layer on the system to ensure that the checks are done in a timely fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And if I look at one of my sampling requirements, see, this tells you, when the check is due every 40 minutes, the maximum time is 100 minutes, and then you specify which project and which data entry configuration number.
Mm-hmm.
So in here I have many data entry configurations. So number 6 is the one that's referenced in my sampling requirement.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same software, it's just another layer, another level to check or to prompt that the operators are doing their inspections.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be the next task, and I'll send you a link to this because it's a very long document and it's too large to email. You do not need to create a new database. You can use an existing database. So
Okay.
if you want, you can skip all of the same with the DMS.
You have some requirements, and I am free to to do the test between the hours and pre-op checks. I think I can put pre-op checks in my project, the simple one, and make the same. I will today with you one pre-op check in the starting line and one check every 3 hours, all the days of the year. I think it's very useful for
Yes.
for complete and control your work in the lines. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I know that there's a lot of pieces to this because you have to create process states, process state transitions, and process part assignments. That's how the system knows the list of parts that are assigned to a different process, and then the sampling requirements. So there's quite a few pieces of this, so I don't expect you to fully understand it immediately. But the tutorial does do a good job of, again, starting with the explanation of what the system does and how it works. And so let's focus on this for the next meeting, and then we should be very close to finishing up the training after this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll send this email. So this is a link to the tutorial. This is the username and password if it asks. And actually, I will include the latest evaluation key as well, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
It may ask you to install the evaluation key when you first start the dynamic scheduler application.
Okay.
Okay, so any questions?
No. I'm very clear. I think I don't know how to do. You have a time next Tuesday. I think it's very good once a week or some requirement by you. I think the same time the next Tuesday are good to me.
Okay, that works for me.
Okay, perfect.
So I'll send a meeting for the same time next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Jueves.
Thursday or Tuesday?
No, mejor
You
jueves.
can choose. Monica, you prefer Thursday. Okay, Kyle. It's a good day.
Es que se te...
Next Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay, I'll send that right now.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect.
All right, thank you. And if you have questions, please just email me and we can talk before
Thank you.
Thursday if you'd like.
Mhm.
Thank you,
Thank you
Kyle.
very much.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
You too. Thanks.